Hello everyone, I'm Ray Sette. Thank you for dedicating the time to sit with me and hear what I have to say regarding our astrological influences for the month of December. I'm a little bit late getting this video out to you today. I've had a very busy schedule while I was meeting with clients at the Mystical Moon, both in Bonita Springs as well as in Fort Myers. I'm back in the saddle, if you will, and I'm getting my bearings together and formulating my thoughts as to what I perceive to be happening for us as we go through this month of December. What's significant with the month of December astrologically is that the lunations this month, the new moon and the full moon, trigger the eclipse energy points which took place in September, and they prepare us for the next series of eclipse which will be taking place in March. We had a solar eclipse on September 13th, and we have our next new moon on December 11th. Our December 11th new moon is in the sign of Sagittarius. As I have been discussing over these last few months, Sagittarius connects with the higher mind. In these last few months, these connections with the higher mind have become very, very clear to those of us who are receptive. And I emphasize those of us who are receptive. Every one of us has a connection with the higher mind. This is our higher self. This connects with higher beings, if you will. Angels, archangels, all those high vibrational influences which every one of us are very much connected to and can very much use during our human experiences for guidance, inspiration, insights, love, whatever higher frequencies can assist us while we are in this human form. This new moon, it's a time for us to assess our beliefs, which when we allow it to do so will certainly very much strengthen our faith. These are all elements of the sign Sagittarius. So I suggest that we use the time of the new moon, especially the time right before the new moon, to reassess, reevaluate, restructure our beliefs, our belief systems, our philosophies, our higher knowings, our higher understandings. And once we come to the understanding with what it is that we would like to reincorporate and incorporate into our lives, we can set that energy in motion with the onset of the new moon, which, as I said, it's on December 11th, and the exact time of the new moon is 5:30 a.m., and that is Eastern Time. Jupiter, as it's transiting the sign of Virgo, it's forming a bit of a harsh aspect to the new moon, which can cause us to feel as though our minds are racing, and it's because we are being given so much information from spirit. A lot of information is being downloaded into our subconsciousness, and many times when we are inundated with so much information, it can feel as though our minds are racing, that we have so much energy going on with our thoughts that we sometimes can't make the most out of those experiences. However, when we allow ourselves to remain grounded, and when we use some very powerful tools such as meditation, yoga, we allow ourselves to stay grounded. And when we are grounded, we are very much anchored to the energy of the earth. And with that, we can use the energy that we are given, and we can direct that energy with all this information, and not necessarily feel as though we are being overwhelmed, because we are able to become very creative and productive with the information. We can incorporate the information, we can use the information. We can also experience some very high levels of creativity when we are grounded and when it is that we are anchored. Certainly, there's a lot of information that we are being overwhelmed with right now from the media, especially everything that's been going on with regarding the coming elections, as well as so much unpleasantries that we are seeing in the world right now. You know, in these last 6 months, I personally can't remember a time when we've seen so much violence taking place out in the world. You know, and certainly we don't want to discredit or take away from the devastation of those experiences. We do want to remember how we can offset anything that might certainly come to us as we go through these next few months as well. Certainly when we allow ourselves to stay in that place of love where we are raising our own vibrational frequency, and by doing so, we raise the vibrational frequencies of our planet and all of humanity. And this is really how we can potentially offset any further negativity from coming to form. I'm not sure how much we can offset that right now, because it seems as though we're getting very caught up in the negativity of these experiences, and it is a bit of a challenge for us to step back, especially from being inundated by the media, from television, from these news programs. However, certainly we all need to stay informed, and certainly we all need to do whatever it is that we need to do so that we can understand what's going on in our world right now. However, we have to be very careful to not allow ourselves to be overwhelmed by someone else's opinions, if you will, as well as other people's fears and other people's negativities. And certainly it can come from many different forms. However, when we stay in a place of love, when we allow ourselves to be very peaceful, we allow ourselves to recognize what it is that will serve a higher purpose for ourselves specifically. And certainly that comes from these connections with this higher mind that I am talking about. At the new moon, Neptune and Venus form such a nice aspect in the heavens, which allow us to connect with the element of spiritual love. And certainly when we incorporate that element of spiritual love into our own lives, we raise our own vibrational frequencies, and then we raise the vibrational frequencies of everyone else and all of humanity. It's all about raising our frequencies and our vibrations to a higher level of consciousness, which connects very much with the sign of Sagittarius. We have this month on December 21st, the winter solstice, and that is a perfect time. It's a great opportunity to generate prosperity for the coming year. And I many times myself, I like to do my own rituals, if you will, where I do set the intention of prosperity, well-being, generosity, certainly for myself, but for others as well, at the time of the winter solstice. This year we have the winter solstice on December 21st, and the exact time of the winter solstice is 11:49 p.m. So I certainly suggest and urge everyone to use that time to set some high vibrational energy for your own personal prosperity and well-being as we go through these coming winter months. You know, one of the elements that I recognize that is a part of all beliefs and all philosophies at this time is that every one of us has the opportunity to return to light. It's about the light coming back into nature. It's about every day after the winter solstice, we get just a little bit more sunlight, you know, and that's so metaphoric for ourselves personally right now and our own lives. For us to every day, if you will, just allow ourselves to just receive and remember light and to reconnect with light and allow light to certainly come back into our lives so that we can generate that light and that love to all of humanity. The new moon we have actually on Christmas Day on December 25th, and it will be exact at 6:12 a.m. The full moon on December 25th, it's in the sign of Cancer. Cancer, the sign of Cancer, is most associated with our homes, our families. I certainly encourage everyone at this time to remember our spiritual connection with our families. Remember that etheric energy connection that we have with every one of our family members. And in this, I include extended family, because at the spiritual level, we're all family and we're all very, very much connected. I encourage everyone to see very clearly these connections that we have from spirit, with our families, our biological families, but also our extended families as well. As we go through 2016, one of the most significant planetary alignments that we will be experiencing is between the planets Saturn and Neptune, and they're going to be forming a bit of a harsh angle. It's called a square. It's a 90-degree angle aspect between those two energies. And this energy, it's already in motion. It first became exact on November 25th, November 26th. And what that suggests is that in the outside world, there may be much illusion, if you will, that's being generated from our leaders, whether they are our spiritual leaders or our government leaders. And as we go through this time, much of those illusions will be dissolved. And I encourage everyone to allow yourselves to be very, very clear, to stay in a place of clarity and not allow any external influences to interfere with your own knowing and your own clarity. Many times when we are given the experience of being disillusioned, if you will, it's because Spirit is encouraging us to trust our own instincts, trust what Spirit is sharing with us personally. You know, many times it can feel as though we are in a place of confusion, and when we have those experiences, it is very beneficial for us to go within from a place of meditation, from a place of prayer, if you will, and allow yourselves to be guided. Because when the outside world presents confusions, presents illusions, if you will, it's just a time for us to go within and allow ourselves to be guided from the spirit realm. As we go through this coming year, we can see much corruption, if you will, more so than we have before, taking place with big businesses, conglomerations, even within all forms of government. And quite honestly, these times are really giving us the opportunity to recognize that we need to be very much in charge of our own lives, and also to recognize how we are very much empowered with the understanding of the connection with Spirit, because that's what allows us to really create all that it is that we experience. You know, when we reside in that place of knowing that the power is within us, we recognize that we are very instrumental in creating all that comes to pass on this earthly experience. And when it seems as though we are just inundated with so much confusion in the outside world and we really don't always know where to turn, it's time for us to go within and to be guided from within, and to allow ourselves to be directed from Spirit, and to remember that every one of us has the ability to receive this information from the spirit realm. January 1st typically indicates the time of the new year, a new beginning time period. You know, one of the greatest elements when we look at the chart that is cast for the new moon, that every year at the time, for the time of the new year, every year on January 1st, at that time in the United States, the sign Libra is rising over the horizon. Libra is the rising sign. Libra is most associated with beauty and with nature. Every one of us is connected to the natural world. And I bring this up because as I'm talking about the importance of remaining grounded, of being connected with the energy of the earth. Libra actually represents the earth. It is our understanding that the earth, if you will, has a Libra rising, because Libra connects with beauty and connects with nature. And every one of us connects with beauty and certainly with nature. So, as I suggested before about us staying grounded and what we can do for ourselves to really benefit from all this information that we are being given from Spirit, connect with the earth, connect with the energy of the earth, stay grounded, go hiking, walk in nature. Allow yourselves to just hear those whispers and that guidance that every one of us are connected with, and it'll certainly help you to really make the most of all this information that we are being given right now from Spirit. We are so being inundated with so much information right now, and it's really because we're at such a critical time during our human evolution that we certainly need to remember our connections with Spirit, but also with our connections with one another. And it really doesn't matter where we're located on the planet, geographically or otherwise, what belief systems that we come from, whether we're male or female. We're all at the creative level. We're really all one and the same, and we're so very much being inspired right now to remember that. So as we go through this season of returning to light, allow light to return into your own lives in whatever form that might need to take. And it really doesn't matter. As long as we recognize that there is that light within us, we all need to return to that place of light, return to that place of love. Let's connect with one another. Let's celebrate. Let's really share the goodness that every one of us is entitled to, if you will. Every one of us is also entitled to, if you will, by birthright, to the element of abundance. As I said about the winter solstice on December 21st, it's a perfect time to generate prosperity for the coming year, so that every one of us can, lead a little bit of a more comfortable existence, if you will, and certainly share that generosity with everyone around us. So until next month, stay in the light, stay in a place of love. Reconnect with everyone, reconnect with love, reconnect with light, and let's celebrate and really make the most of what will be coming for us in this coming year. Thank you again for enjoying this time with me. Stay in the light, stay in a place of love, and I will see everyone again very soon.